thank you for having me. Arrowsight you can think of as a company that effectively is game film for business. And what we do is we put camera systems into plant locations, all sorts of hospitals, stores, etc. For the discussion today, we'll focus on the work that we do in the meat manufacturing arena. And just like coaches use game film in sporting events, we are working with some of the top companies in the country to provide them with a third-party sort of coach up in a booth, giving them insights on where they can optimize performance in their factories.
Oh, okay. So when we talk about the factories and beef consumption particularly, who are we talking about? Give us some examples.
So some of the companies that we work with, JBS, which is the largest beef company in the world, Cargill, which is one of the largest companies in the world on a number of fronts, and many other smaller companies. So all told, our programs, our remote video auditing programs are installed in about 50% of the U.S. beef factories.
And what do they find? I mean, this sounds fascinating. What do they find once they're up there and they're taking a look at what's really going on?
That's a great question. So most of the companies are using tremendously comprehensive food safety programs today.
Sure.
And so we categorically have the safest food supply in the world, and tremendous oversight from the USDA inside meat factories every day of the week. But one of the challenges that these companies have is that conventional methods of monitoring performance at the employee level, you only see what you see, and when you walk away, it turns out that there's a small portion of workers that deviate dramatically from the scores that you might see when you're there. So our program steps in and captures all that information when frontline management isn't present. And one company, JBS, has been working with us. They've recently rolled out our program to all of their beef factories in the United States, which is 8 factories. They make up about 25% of the meat that's going to be consumed this summer. And what they found is that while they thought things were almost 100% compliant on food safety metrics that are sort of the most important in the factory, in reality, the aggregate scores were lower, maybe 85%.
Really?
And some individual workers were below 40%.
Oh my.
So with our program, within a matter of weeks, they were able to actually get the performance levels up over 99% compliant, which then translated into a reduction in microbiological rates of about 75%. And that's what happened last year. That prompted them to roll this out this year, going into the summer season, which is higher risk. And they're already seeing great results on the performance of the workers.
Right. And clearly you guys knew that the need was there in forming this company and this technology. How do you convince companies like a JBS and a Cargill, how do you convince them to bring you in?
It's a great question. So, one thing that people probably underappreciate with these very large manufacturing companies is just how progressive they really are. And so, in the case of Cargill, a few years ago, they actually sought us out and said, we'd like to really talk about your programs, which had been really primarily working in smaller companies. We sort of had to earn our way into the bigger companies.
Right.
But they pulled us in, and they rolled us out for a number of applications in their beef plants. They have 10 beef plants in this country and are currently expanding us across multiple proteins for multiple applications. So it is interesting to see big industry start pulling in kind of new and unconventional technologies and services.
Right. All right. Well, thank you very much, Adam Aronson with Arrowsight. I'm sorry. Let's look at the website right here real quick. We've got, tell people how to find you.
Okay, www.arrowsight.com, which is ARROWSIGHT.com.
All right.